Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today.
Now carried it in back into goal.
That was a beautiful passing play right there, Sean.
What a save! Woo! Talk about a move.
Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got Stephen Duffy with me. He is the owner of the Sharp Shack Skating or Inline Hockey League based out of Gardner, Massachusetts. And he's going to tell us a little bit about Massachusetts inline hockey. So take it away, Stephen.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Ben.
Anytime.
It's definitely been a trip. We started a league in 2020. Just kind of went out with a bunch of guys playing pickup. We had about 15 souls every week that would go out and play at a local outdoor rink. After year one of pickup, we bloomed out to about 35 skaters. We had 2 women in the league, and the rest were all guys. The following year, which was last year, we had about 65 guys playing, which was pretty good. It was a pretty good time. And this year we blew up to 8 teams and just about 75 skaters.
Dude, that's amazing in such a short time too. Like in less than almost 3 years. You know, you guys are just increasing, and word of mouth is getting out there, and that's amazing.
It's incredible for an area that has no other organized inline hockey that is prominent with any kind of representation, whether it's players that play like Pi-Ha, State Wars, stuff like that. We don't have a state team that goes in. And not having any youth leagues, not having any really men's rec leagues within 60 miles. There's one league out of Boston. There's one out of Tiverton. And there's a bunch of guys that skate outside of Springfield. So this is kind of it. It's really good. We have a really good group of guys, 80 people, and like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, so what are you guys hoping to do for the future? Because you guys, you guys are still growing each year. Are you hoping for about 120 guys next year?
We'll see where it takes. This year was kind of funny. Last year we skated 6 teams with 9 skaters on a team. So we had 1 extra sub built in. And the reason for that was I wanted to get as many people in the league that wanted to, but we were also limited on goalies. So you had to be careful with that. Yep. This year, out of the first 14 people that signed up, we had 7 goalies.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm like, okay. So then, and you know how signups go. Nobody signs up. Everybody signs up the first day or the last day. There's nothing in between.
There's no in between. Yep.
So, excuse me, we run it for 60 days from January 1st to the end of February. And the way we do it, it's a men's league. I have a very strong philosophy on this. If you want to play a men's league, you pay up front. So you pay half to get registered and drafted. And then once you put your name in for the jersey you're getting, you clear it out. And then you got to pay your other half before you get your jersey. So everybody's got to be paid up front.
Oh,
So we're
that's
going
awesome.
through this, and everybody's signing up, but I have no skaters. And all of a sudden, the last week, we had about 50 people sign up because, oh yeah, no, I got to get on, and then they all flooded in. So
That's
it worked out pretty
amazing.
good. If we could ideally keep a rough number of 8 to 10 teams,
Mhm.
I think we're doing pretty good. We have a very broad range of skating talent.
Okay.
Pretty much everybody, the experience they have with roller is included in the years that the league has been around.
Okay.
So the OGs are going on their third year. Everybody else is on their second or their first. But everybody, for the most part, has some kind of ice experience.
Okay.
We have this area that we're in, Gardner, Fitchburg, Leominster, very, very prominent deck hockey.
Okay.
So deck hockey is like it's ball hockey on your feet.
Yep.
So we got hockey on steel, hockey on wheels, and hockey on feet.
That's
And
amazing.
we have a couple of members from Team USA, both men's and women.
Cool.
We have women that play many A-level tournaments, co-ed tournaments, and these girls they're fierce. They're playing guys that are over 6 feet tall, heavy slap shots, and they don't care. They're out mixing it on a co-ed team. We have guys that are strong ball hockey players. A couple of guys have won Chiclet Cup tournaments.
Oh,
So-
that's cool.
So you're getting these guys that have these talents, and the hands and the mind are there, but the wheels are catching up, and it takes a little bit, and it's fun. It's a good time.
I bet you that's got to be like watching like kids skate for the first time. Just kind of getting their bearings in. Because because you're a little bit older, so your hand-eye coordination is there, but it's just getting your feet to move with your body, with the balance and everything that you got to deal with. Because it's a lot different going from deck hockey from ice to deck than to wheels. You know.
I am not a deck player, and I'm 38 years old. I played ice from the time I was 5 until now. Always been on steel, always been on skates, and then inline I have 3 years of it. And when I go play deck, it is awful. The hardest thing in the world, and I will give all the respect to people that play deck hockey, is to run, push the ball, pass the ball, and still run. You take for granted how nice it is to be on wheels or steel and just glide.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. It's so hard. I play deck hockey once a week, and it's awful. I'm a bush league player anyways, but I tell you, on feet I am awful. And everybody thinks it's easier to play street hockey. Oh, go play street hockey. Go play street hockey. It's easier. No way. That is by far one of the most difficult things I've done.
Yeah, it's a completely different skill set. I remember playing a little bit of deck hockey at the local recreation center years ago. Like 20 years ago, and I had just graduated high school. I think I maybe 4 years out because I had lived in Illinois for a couple of years. Came back and then started skating with a bunch of buddies and then they were like, hey, we're going to play some floor hockey or deck hockey. It's essentially the same thing. You're playing in a basketball court.
Yeah.
You got full padded goalies, and then, your slap shot can only be like at your waist, if you were lucky. And I'll never forget trying to just like huffing and puffing and I'm going, I miss skating because I could just glide. Because I could skate all day then, and and just being out of breath every 5 seconds. It felt like when I was coaching in Africa, they were like, come play with us in a soccer tournament. And you're playing on a pitch that's like a third of the size of like a normal soccer field. And you're out of breath within the first 40 seconds, and you're just taking like hockey shifts because it was like you can just sub in no matter what. Yeah. And I'm like, I need a sub.
It's hard. It's definitely a different experience. Roller, the rink that we play in is predominantly ice, and so they put ice in August, they take it out in April, they put the floor down the third week in April, we get on it in May, we play from May till August, so it's 13 weeks. We try and fit about 14 to 15 games in there. So we play Thursdays or Fridays. And then usually 1 to 2 weeks, everybody plays Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
And then you go from there. Um, I do the league to have fun. I do the league to grow the game. I do the league to show hockey doesn't have to be one certain thing. I'm
Yeah.
not here to make a huge amount of money. And when people ask, what do you get out of it? Meaning, like, what does it cost and how much and everything? People are shocked. It's $270 to play 13 games. You get a jersey designed by Envious Gameware and a set of pants, which are top notch.
Yep.
We do new jerseys. If you've seen the page, new jerseys every year. They're redone, they're redesigned, and it's awesome. It comes down to about $14 a game. We got guys that volunteer to ref, so they're learning. We bring younger kids into ref, not because they're cheap and easy, but because they got to learn somewhere.
Right.
And if we can get them out there, then maybe they like the game. Then they're going to want to play when they're our age.
Yep.
And it's a good take, and it's not. I just want to have fun. I just want to go out. I want to play a new sport that's fun for guys. And we've already talked. There might be a set of boys heading down south to Tennessee for the Wish Cup maybe next year. Maybe we'll send a set of boys down for some ice. And we're talking that maybe we got a couple of guys that have rinks around here, and we may do like a Sharp Shack all-star team and see if we can get some guys to go play a couple of boys in Boston or a couple of guys in Worcester, which is another bigger city in the area.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we have so one of the leagues that Grove City Hockey covers is it's called MyHa, and they have a couple of tournaments in Buffalo, New York. They get teams from Iowa all the way to New York with teams with players coming from Canada.
Yeah.
We had a couple Canadian teams this last year. And they're always expanding and growing. I know there's a team from Minnesota that was interested, another team or another facility in Wisconsin that was kind of interested. So I mean, this league is it's growing so rapidly. So it's pretty cool to see you guys wanting to, get out there and challenge yourselves, because really at the end of the day, that's what this game is about, is, strapping on the pads, lacing up those skates, and then going out there and then just having fun, but playing as hard as you can, so it's really cool.
It really is. It's roller hockey is an interesting society, and it's an interesting group because it's not quite as organized as one would think. There's on the equipment side, it's not maybe the most organized because there's not a lot of options. If you want to buy a chassis to put on a skate, there's three choices. You can get a high-low, you can get a Mars Blade, or you can get a Lebeda. That's it. If you want a skate, you get full-size, half-size, but they don't offer a skate in a wide or a double wide. Pucks, nobody knows what the puck is. They all weigh about the same, but they feel substantially different, whether it's a hoplite that no one's ever heard of, and I absolutely love it. I think the hoplite puck is amazing.
Yeah, I actually have never heard of a hoplite, and I've been in the roller game for over 20 years now. So
hoplite was designed by a guy named Doug, and
okay.
Doug put a lot of energy into this puck, and it's 3.6 ounces, just like your normal pro shot, your IDS, your rocket puck.
Mm-hmm.
They're all 3.6 ounces.
Yep.
But the deal with the hoplite is it's got a gyroscope inside that spins.
Okay.
So as it spins, it lays down, and then that should lay flatter. The other side is, instead of using round pegs, it uses rectangular pegs.
Okay.
And it feels heavier because of the drag in the way it drags. So most of your ice guys like it, so you don't overshoot it and get the Flappy Bird.
Right.
So that's kind of another thing. And to go along with the unorganized side of it is you have so many tournaments that are so territorial that if they would work together and just say, hey, my region, your region, his region, her region, and then you come together and now there's your regional classes. Then you can get one big championship. This could take off. I mean, pro beach hockey, people still talk about it. I'm 38. Guys remember PBH all day.
Oh yeah.
RHI, guys love RHI. The old jerseys, you could get if this is working with 3 ice, and 3 ice had a good season last year. If it works with 3 ice, there is no reason you could not put a traveling road show together and have them play games here and there, and then they go to one spot, play it out, and you're done. I think it's great what just happened at Tours with Patty Maroon.
Yeah.
I mean, they won, Road Runners won. Now you're seeing all the posts on there about Pat Maroon winning all these cups. Great. There's another one on there. And all it's going to do is promote this stuff. You see Adam Ernie. I'm very honored to be able to work with Adam. I got to do a swap on his skates last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool setup. It was a fun one. When he was on the I sponsored the team when he was on the Ringster team, and they won tours, and then they went to the State Wars finals with him, like Ryan Perry, Adam Schwartz, like all those guys. Yep, a lot of work with that team, with the Ringster team, and stuff. So you get these guys, and they have the names, they have the draws, the John Chivos. The John does so much for the game of ice and roller, in handling and fundamentals, that if everybody pulls together, roller could explode to something much more organized and something much more, maybe not mainstream, but maybe more media coverage to get it to where it needs to be.
Oh, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. And I've actually got Adam Ernie's captain, Corey Hodge, on the pod tomorrow. And
ask Hodge how his frames are doing. I did a set of frames for Hodgie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And then I've got Shivo coming on the pod next week. So
Corey, I did a set of the plaid colored Trues.
Okay.
We redid the chassis for him. We colored them and engraved them for him. Chavo, I don't know, maybe 15 pairs of inlines I've done for him.
Yeah.
Back and forth. He's great. Him and Colby. Honestly, if there's 2 people that have helped me out and really got into the roller world that told me that, hey, it's okay to play roller, it's Colby, the MD Media, and Chavo. I mean, those 2 guys are huge, and those were the beginning factors of when I really got into it. It all went back to COVID, and John had all these people that he didn't know how to get them aids to train, and I was working out of my house at the time, so just started doing swap after swap, and I literally would be sending 5 to 6 pairs of skates a week out. And this was when it was only that slow because you couldn't get the product.
Right.
Urethane was low, chassis were low. So I was buying stuff used, reconditioning it, putting it together, and just getting it in the hands of people to train. And I think COVID was hard for a lot of people, and it changed the industry a lot, but it also opened up a lot of doors. I think maybe because I'm in it, but it feels like it really blew roller up to the next level, because it told people it's okay to play roller. It's okay to be on wheels. You got Connor Bedard coming up. You get all these guys that have a roller background, either in the draft or in the show or play. In the A, Brandon Hawken. Sam Annis just won a Calder Cup with Hershey like 3 days ago. And I did a set for him. These guys are all training inline, and it's something to be used. Like it's a great tool, and these leagues are out there. Guys want to have fun, guys want to skate, and I mean, it sounds dorky and you're smiling talking about it, but it's just so much fun. It's literally like the mini golf of ice hockey. It really is. Have a good time. It's lighthearted. You're worried about passing. It's just a cool tempo. And I think it's because there's not as many offsides rules hardcore. We mix it up in the league. We took the 3 ice penalty shot where you got to chase down the guy that gets awarded the penalty shot.
Mhm.
and we put that in our league.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
and it's great. It's the first year we've done it before. It'd normally just be a penalty shot, and you let them go, and then you pick up the puck, you drop, and we run running clock. So now I'm like, why don't we just go after it? And you miss, and you keep playing, or you score, and you bring it to center ice, drop it, and go. So it's
Yeah.
like you can have a lot of fun with it. It's not as rigid as ice.
That's cool. So now, do you guys do 3 periods or 2?
Um, I wanted to do 2 halves, and guys were like, "No, it's going to be too hot," and it's too much. So we do. Last year was 3 15-minute runs. This year we
Okay.
do 3 14-minute runs.
Okay.
The whole net. It's a state facility, but it's got a net around the glass. It's an ice rink. So if it goes off the netting and comes in, you just keep playing.
Okay.
No offsides, no icing. High stick only if it's around another player's face or it contacts the head. No slap shots. That's really it. I mean, we kind of keep it pretty low key. And I mean, I think maybe 10 penalties all year.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good group. I have a pretty coming from a reffing background, I keep it pretty tight. 3-strike rule. If you're asked to leave a game, then there's one of your strikes. If same thing happens again, then you're going to be gone and you're not going to get invited back.
Oh wow. So it's almost kind of like, by invitation only, and then you got to, be on your not only your best behavior, but just be willing to have fun and not take it yourself too seriously, but but still go out there and play hard and have fun with it.
You can definitely go out. You can have fun. You can play hard. It needs to be something that if your mom and dad were in the stands, or if your 10, 12-year-old was playing, would you be okay with them playing like that?
Right.
And it's easier for some people to understand that. I'm just as guilty. I get penalties here and there. And sometimes you got to move on, and it's one of those you just got to take a step back, and you got to be able to reset and realize that we all got another job. We all got to work tomorrow, or your kid's watching, and you don't want to show them that that's okay.
Right. Yeah. And I'll tell you this right now, just based from my beer league experience, is that playing 14 weeks of Stanley Cup Game 7 type games is, with people with that type of mentality, really drags the morale down instead of bringing it up, because it's like, what are you tripping for? It's like, we're not getting paid for this yet.
No, it's definitely true. And I work hard to try and get companies involved in the small league. For all intents and purposes, 75 people, 85 people is small. But we get cool things donated, and those things have names on them. And I got to make sure that if I'm giving it to somebody, or they see a clip or something like that, then they're representing what the league is and what the league means. And like I said, it's not you're not going to end up on SportsCenter because of it.
Right.
I mean, SportsCenter doesn't play the NHL.
I mean, it's still early, I mean, like, it could blow up, and there could be, an incredible goal or two. It could end up on ESPN Ocho or something.
Yeah. We'll get on there. Yeah, they'll show the replay on ESPN Radio probably with my luck. But no, it's a good time. It's a light skate, and it just, if people can give roller a chance and just try it, it's a cool experience. I think honestly the most prohibitive cost in roller is the facility, is the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of people online right now selling boards, glass, and in Sport Court for $60,000, and it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's good. And
I remember. I remember when it was like $100,000
easily.
Just for.
I shouldn't say Sport Court because I don't know the make of the tile, but it's a roller tile. It's a court.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, we have Milek near us. We have I can't think of the other one. There's another one around, and then there's a few of them, but you can't. The price of that plus the building is where it gets expensive, and unless you have a good way to bring in a second revenue off it, it would be tough. You're almost better. It seems to be like the Detroit and the Michigan area with the hardwood floors is kind of, if you're going to really do that big canvas all roller skating type place, it's got to be that, unless you throw basketball hoops over the side and now you play like pickup games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I noticed that volleyball seems to be picking up pretty well in the Detroit area. Because that's a pretty easy setup. You know.
we had a place. I mean, and I joke, I'm like, if I could buy a Morton building big enough to house a hockey rink, and then I could rent it out during the day for pickleball.
Oh my God, you'd make a killing.
Honestly, you could make a rink big enough to handle 3 pickleballs. So like zone, neutral, zone.
Yep.
You could do something like that. You could rent it out for your like your birthday parties, your men's league roller. You could even do that's the thing too. You can do so many 3-on-3 clinics and play cross ice. I'm like, you get 2 games going at once. You double your money. It can be cheap. You don't need refs. You only need 1 timekeeper. Like easy stuff.
Easy.
And there's so much deck around us out here, but it's all outdoor.
Right.
So then you get into the business saying, hey, Joe has a tournament this weekend. Joe, do you want an insurance policy? You can rent out the rink. If it rains, fine. If it's not, it's this. But if you use it, you're not paying any more. Okay, well now my whole tournament, if you have 15 divisions, you're good.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff like that. It's just, it takes a little bit of work, takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of money, but you can definitely do it. Just land's expensive unless you do like a Morton building. That's a cool thing again with roller. You don't have to have plumbing. Like you just need a bathroom, but you don't need refrigeration. So,
well, in the summer months, a little AC doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. The rink we have is non-AC'd and no dehumidifier, so it's a hot one.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you could get some airflow through it, it wouldn't be too bad. Or if you really, really, really insulate really well and you keep it locked up, it'll be warm. It won't be humid, but it'll be warm. And you could do that. But I mean, you go to all these deck rinks, they only have 1 bathroom. There's no showers. I mean, ice guys always, hey, where's the shower? When are we showering,
They're
right?
so pampered. I tell you that much right now. They're like, I need this, I need that. And then they go to a roller facility and they're like just dying of sweat. And it's like, easy there, Meryl. She's already going to win.
It's tough. I mean, we have guys in the league that take pregame showies. So they're big on the shower. You got to get out there, got to feel good, and got to feel the breeze. So
yeah. So where can somebody who's just moving to the Gardner area or just where can we find your information so that we can get like your website or your Facebook page? Where can we find those?
Yeah. So the website for the league is SSIHL, so Sharp Shack Inline Hockey League.
Okay.
.leaguerepublic.com.
Okay.
League Republic is the hosting site. It has all our stats, all the games, all the previews. It's actually a pretty good base for player stats, team stats, a lot of that stuff. If you're looking on Facebook, most of the info is under Mass Roller.
Okay.
Same thing on Instagram. It's under Sharp Shack Inline Hockey League. The main page for all my stuff is the Sharp Shack. That's the shop page. If you need me, Instagram at the Sharp Shack, Facebook, Sharp Shack name. And everything goes through those two. Real big on Instagram with the Sharp Shack. We're doing swaps or questions and common broken stuff, products. We try and keep a decent amount of product in stock so we can ship it out if you need. We're not retail. We're not a big box store.
Right.
I have the screws for the full steel bolt across high-low chassis. People don't sell those. I have tons of axles. I have bearings. I have loose bearings. I have single bearings. I have double bearings. I try and keep the stuff going. My job is to fix it so you can keep going. I'm not here to sell you what you don't need. I'm here to fix it so you can keep going. If you need stuff sewed, happy to sew it. But as far as the inline league, yeah, Sharp Shack Inline Hockey League on Instagram. We do clips in the off season. Regular season, we just do kind of review cards, and then the other 10 months, I'll throw some YouTube clips up.
Well, that's amazing. So we're just about out of time with that, and we're going to actually bring you back so you guys can talk, or so we can talk more about the Sharp Shack business aspect of it with our vendor profile. I think that'll be something that a lot of guys that could utilize in the future for their equipment needs.
Absolutely. We do mail order, skate sharpening. We stock blades, holders. We do repairs of holders, hyperlight eyelets, not if, but when they rip out, we do those. We do tongue swaps, toe cap swaps. Literally, I have a pair of hyperlights right now that are going to be my guinea pig, and they're going to be completely gone through just to show you what we can do and what's possible. Tongue swaps with the XS tab, with the True tab, with the Velcro. They're going to be sweet. They're going to take some time, but there'll be a whole profile on Instagram with those.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Stephen, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the GCH podcast, and we will catch you guys up on the flip side.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Hey, thanks again, man.
You got it.